Hey everyone, it's Gary. Hope you all are doing well. Gee, I really like seeing myself live on a computer. Just kidding. I probably hope I don't look as goofy as I feel. But in any case, welcome aboard everybody to this week's Path to Prosperity live webinar. Couple of things here. Let me first check the attendee list. We do have some new folks. Hey Olga, how you doing? Good to see you on board. I just got a text from Linda from your Market Center, and also spoke with Allison earlier too. So in any case, welcome aboard to all the new folks, particularly, and also all the veterans. Good to see all of you actually. Allison, good to see you too. I know we just talked. So let's see. Well, we got people from all over. Bill, always good to see you too, buddy. Hope things are going well for you out there in the Philly area. Hi, Victoria. Shannon, good to see you, Shannon. Hey, Shannon. I got your return text. I'm trying to think, maybe it's Thursday we can catch up. I don't know if there's any time available on Time Trade for this week. Usually they're like a week out on scheduling, but let me know if you're free on Thursday. I've got 3 things I want to go over with you that I think will really help you get started. So in any case, welcome everybody, veterans, new folks, whether you're in the flipping program, buying rentals, wholesaling, managing rentals, or of course investor agent, which was what most of us are in. If I didn't mention your name, it's not because I don't care. Just I want to get through and get through the introductions and get started here. So welcome aboard to all of you. A couple things you'll notice by default you're in mute mode. That's because we can't all talk at the same time. So this is for all the newer folks. You do have your question box. So if you look at your question box, you can type in questions there. In fact, I'm going to send you a message to make sure everybody's okay. Looks like everything's okay on this end. So can you see my screen and hear my voice? Okay. So if you could each let me know that would be great. Also, if you do have outstanding questions, please go ahead and post those now, because what I want to do is go cover any questions you have right now on any subject before we get into tonight's subject. Tonight's subject, based on popular demand, is how do you actually hire a virtual assistant? So a lot of you probably figured once you get started in this and you get up and running, you get some clients coming in, get some transactions coming in, whether you'd work with investors or not, when you're successful, it can get quite busy. And one of the things I want you to consider doing is to farm out or contract out certain portions of what you do so that you're not constantly working and spending half of your time doing things that you can teach someone else to do and pay them a fraction of what you're worth. I mean, I'll go over one of my examples tonight is one of my virtual assistants named Tio. He's in the Philippines. Guys, I've been working with him for more than 10 years, easily 10 years, maybe more. And got a great relationship. I've never actually met him in person, although we've spoken a number of times. We do some Skype calls and Google Hangouts. Real neat guy, family man. And he makes probably about 50,000 pesos a month for me personally. I pay him more than the going rate because he's worth it. I'll talk about all this here going through tonight's session. But this is for everybody, guys. This is probably one of the most important things you can do, because I know we're all entrepreneurs and we're focused on taking action, getting results, and we get caught up into doing everything ourselves. Like Shannon, you and I, perfect examples, okay? So the thing is you don't have to do everything. It's okay to let go and delegate to someone else. Simple, basic, routine tasks. So that's what tonight's all about. So let me just check the question box here, see if we do have any questions. Hey, Julie, good to see you too. I saw your email and I saw another one coming after that saying you had it figured out or something. I'm not sure. I had to do with the school report and talking to your market center. If you do need help with that, just let me know. Let's see, Olga. Hi, Olga. Shannon, thank you. Yes, I'm free on Thursday. Okay, I'll follow up tonight, Shannon, on Thursday. Okay, I'm going to be up in Gig Harbor paddleboarding, so I'm going to work in the morning and paddleboard in the afternoon. Let's see, Victoria can see me here. Okay, so no outstanding questions so far. Oh, Julie's saying yes, I do need help. Okay, Julie, let me go back to the emails. Maybe I missed something. I thought maybe got the emails crossed or something, but I'll go back to those and see what I can do. In any case, for everybody here, make sure you always look at the email the next day from Beverly. It's going to give you instructions anything that's changing in the platforms or systems usually doesn't happen a lot, but every now and then they do some upgrades, okay? For us, well, remember, I'm a product of the product like you. I'm a member just like you are. So these things are pretty important. Schedule, the schedule of the new webinars coming up. So always look at that. And also, if you're watching this or listening to it in recorded mode, obviously you weren't able to make the live event, or you decided to watch it later on in recorded mode, you'll get the same, obviously you got the same email. So, all right, always use your question box. I think enough said so far. Let's go ahead and jump into tonight's subject. All right. First things first is when it comes to hiring a virtual assistant, okay, there's certain things you need to be aware of. Historically, when we grew as entrepreneurs, we would want to hire an employee. And I have employees, and eventually you may have employees too, but in the beginning, it's actually far easier to hire a virtual assistant because they're technically independent contractors. There's not as many rules and regulations when it comes to independent contractors as there are with regular employees. If you think about it, you know, in the United States and Canada, in the United States, we're independent contractors, same thing in Canada. When it comes to taxes, let's just talk about employees first. When you have employees, okay, you got to pay other taxes. You got to pay Social Security tax. You got to pay employer tax. All these taxes you have to pay as an employer, okay? And the person you're employing also has to pay taxes. A lot of taxes going around there, and Uncle Sam is the one who's benefiting mostly, which is basically us anyways. Different subject for a different day. But the point is, if you look at this, look at the cost of taxes over the years from 1937 when we started Social Security and all these other programs, mainly Social Security, to 2009, just in a 70-year period. Look at that. It's gobbling up 15% just SSI and Medicare combined, and that's now that's 9 years ago. My gosh, I don't know even what it is now. Okay, but the point is it's getting more and more expensive. All right, and I can tell you, I've had multiple businesses over the years. I've built 7 businesses, sold 5, merged 1, and I've kept 1. My biggest expense was payroll. Okay, it's not just payroll, guys. When you have employees, you can't just, if something goes wrong, you can't just like fire them or let them go. There's processes to follow. It's quite expensive, and those people can then go file unemployment claims, okay? And you have to pay into unemployment, whatever state you're in, you got to pay into that, okay? And there's other related benefits. My gosh, if you have 401k or any type of retirement fund, vacation, sick time, all of that stuff adds up, okay? It's quite expensive. Now, when you have a virtual assistant, let's just talk about, particularly in the States right now, okay? They're called independent contractors. What that means is you can't dictate to them their schedule. You can't dictate what they wear. You can't do that kind of stuff there. It's basically a contract basis where they're working for you on a project level basis. You give them a certain task to accomplish. They work on the task, they're done, you pay them for the task, okay? Real estate is a little bit odd because most of us are agents or brokers. And real estate's looked at differently than most other businesses when it comes to independent contractors. Legally, by definition, we're independent contractors. But believe me, you know, what was it? Century 21 used to tell their agents what to wear. You had to wear that green jacket, kind of corny looking thing, but they did. And it would also give them certain policies to follow, okay? So really pushing the envelope. But in most cases, they're independent contractors, and you can't really tell them much other than give them an assignment. Well, virtual assistants are not typically in the United States. They can be, but they can be in most likely India or the Philippines or both. Okay, my TO is in the Philippines. But because they're in a different country, clearly, you know, the rules are different in Philippines or in the United States. If you're independent contractors, you can claim that expense on your tax returns for your business, but more importantly, you can really treat them like full time. I mean, Tio, for me, he works with me 50 hours a week easily, 200 hours a month at about it. And he's my personal VA. I have other VAs for the other businesses, but personally speaking, Tio works for me, okay? I'm sorry, he does work for MIS too, I apologize. But in any case, I have preferential treatment, because if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be working for my business services. But the point is this is, clearly he's working for us full time, and we give him multiple assignments, okay? And all we do is we pay him his rate, which is $5 an hour, okay? Let's think about that. What is minimum wage looking to become? In most cases, in most states, 15 bucks an hour, 3 times what I'm paying Tio. Well, most people working for minimum wage don't have college degrees. Tio has a college degree. Now, normally in the Philippines, we're paying about $3 an hour. I'm paying him 5 an hour because he's that good, okay? He's able to do almost anything we ask him to do. I pay him essentially 60% more than the going rate, so he likes us. He likes working with us. If he has a new baby, his wife and he had a baby recently, we just said, just take off, Tio. There's no harm, no foul. We'll be okay. But the point is I don't have to pay any Social Security. I don't have to pay Medicare. I don't have to pay any kind of stuff, okay? It's literally a lot less expensive, not just because he has a lower hourly rate, but all those other additional costs, they're just simply not there. So in any case, lots of benefits to hiring a virtual assistant. You know, if you're growing your business, think about this, guys. This is one of the most important things I can teach you on this webinar today is this. If you look to hire somebody stateside, generally you're thinking, I've got to hire them full time, but that's not true. You can hire somebody 2 hours a week initially. That's what I did with Tio. And I paid him, you know, at that time, $6, $3 per hour times 2 hours is $6, okay? Per week, $6 per week gave me enough time to go out there and generate another transaction. In 2 hours, I was able to generate another transaction. Well worth it. The point I'm trying to make is the beautiful thing about virtual assistants, guys, is you can hire them on a small scale first, just a few hours a week, and that's it, okay? And then add hours to give them more and more work and give them more and more hours as your business grows. Is this making sense? Okay, what I'm saying is, don't worry about hiring somebody 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week. Just focus on hiring one person 2 hours a week. Even if you paid them here stateside, that's maybe $30, right? So, but follow what I'm going to show you tonight. I'll show you how to hire really good quality people for a lot less. And believe me, 50,000 pesos in the Philippines, they're living pretty good, okay? So in any case, think about what you want to accomplish. I mean, the main thing is, you know, maybe you're growing your business, which what most of us are doing, or maybe you're trying to reduce costs, which is what some of us are doing, okay? The point is this is, it's a financially wise thing to do, but also for you personally, your own time. I mean, if you're working like I used to work, you know, unbelievable hours, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And I don't suggest that. Don't do that because it'll cost you, right? It cost me a ring many years ago. So don't be like me, be better than me, okay? The point is this is, maybe money's not an issue for you, but maybe time is. And maybe it's about time you decided to treat yourself better, hire somebody that you can delegate a few simple tasks to buy you time to go on a hike or go biking or go kayaking or do whatever, okay? It's all about the work balance of life. So in any case, this thing is I actually wrote this years ago, and I had someone else rewrite it as if it's written in the third person. And actually, I think Tio did this, quite frankly, but they're usually talking about me as if I'm the third person. Here I am giving you the talk tonight, reading this thing myself personally. In any case, I've had other virtual assistants. You know, there was one, for example, I had that set up all kinds of stuff, you know, hotel accommodations. I'm in a beautiful bed and breakfast right now in Olympia, Washington, which is a pretty nice place. Mary was with me for a couple years. She did all this kind of stuff, took a lot of time away from me. She could do anything. I mean, anything I had to have done, she did for me, hiring movers and things like that. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about how do you actually hire a VA? Well, first thing is you better determine what it is you want to accomplish, okay? And we'll talk more about that here in a second. But what I want to show you right now is this really cool website. So it's called Onlinejobs Ph. That's the site in the Philippines. It's actually owned and run by a Filipino, and they do a lot of work for you. So what I'm getting at is this. Instead of you hiring to go through typical hiring procedures where you advertise, you screen calls, you do phone interviews, you do in-person interviews, it's quite expensive to hire any person, okay? And you got to test them out. You got to make sure they actually have the skills and the aptitudes you need to accomplish what you want them to accomplish. Well, guess what? Onlinejobs.ph Philippines does all that for you. So let's just copy this right here. Let's see if they're still in the business. I haven't used them for years, but that's the one I use to get my two virtual assistants. And let's see, it should be popping up here. There you go, guys. There's the website, onlinejobs.ph. Here's what I like about them. They do all the screening for you. They do all the interviewing for you. They also give them tests, okay? So all kinds of neat stuff that these guys do for you. And they have people that will do almost anything you could possibly imagine in the world of real estate. So you want to determine what your budget is. If your budget's only $10, then hire somebody 2 hours a week, and that's it if it's $10 a week. Even if your budget's higher than that, guys, I would tell you I've had a lot more success with virtual assistants by starting small, giving them one assignment, okay, and then growing from there. That's what I really recommend. So even if you're planning on paying them or hiring them full time, don't start off full time. Start off with one small, simple thing. By the way, there's some examples down here of what you can expect to pay. Basic virtual assistant, data entry, web research. You know, it's about $400 a month full time, so that's $100 a week divided by 40 hours. That's $2.50 an hour, guys. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You move up the food chain. Somebody who has a great English skills, because English is spoken in most places in the world. In the world of business, it's the most common language. You're going to up the ante a little bit there. If they have good writing skills, you go up a little bit higher. Okay. Now, if you're going to have them do things like SEO and marketing, they're going to be a little bit more expensive. Okay. But remember, people who do SEO and marketing run the gamut. There's millions of them out there. Everybody seems like that comes out of college anymore says they're a marketing guru because they've got an Instagram account and a Facebook page. There's way more to it than that, right? So, but in any case, they're going to basically command higher, more money. If they are web developers, they're going to cost even more, okay? But let's face it, 120,000 pesos a month, that's about $12 an hour. That's it, okay? You can hire a web developer in the United States or Canada for $12 an hour, I can tell you that. But in any case, you want to determine what it is you want to accomplish and narrow that down, define the role, okay, define the functions and then define the role based on the functions, right? And you want to create what's called a job description because you have to post this, okay? So in order to do this correctly, please write this down. Definitely write out the specific roles you want this person to follow. So don't worry about the person, focus on the role, what roles you want them to accomplish. Break it down and then pick the one that you think is the easiest for you to delegate, okay? So right down here in the job description, you want to determine what your job description is, all right? Personal assistant, again, you know, content creation, customer support. I do not farm out customer support. We do that in-house, okay, for some reason. But in any case, when you define the role that you want to have served, you can essentially define your job description. So you may want to have somebody again full-time and have them serve multiple functions, but the reality is start small. Okay, so the next thing is this. It used to be you had to test out a lot of people. You had to kiss a lot of frogs to get that prince. Not that complex anymore. I can tell you now that I know what I'm doing, I can pretty much pick them out pretty easily. And here's how I do it. It talks here about creating a funnel. So remember that Onlinejobs Ph does all this kind of stuff for you. You still want to do some testing, but the reality is you can look at the list of people that they've already interviewed and tested and so forth and screened, pick from that list, okay? And then from that list, you can hire maybe 3 people for one particular assignment, and you can give them all 3 the same assignment, and then measure the results of that one assignment. So I'm giving you some insider tips here from my own personal experience. So remember that. Yes, it might cost you $30 to do this test, but $30 is worth it, okay? So you have 3 people you've picked out, give them all 3 the same exact assignment. And then when you give the assignment back, you're going to compare the results. And maybe you eliminate one person and give the other 2 people a follow-up assignment, compare the results again, and then maybe you decide who you're going to bring on from there. But here's what you do. When you give them an assignment, a virtual assistant, this is extremely important, guys. You've got to clearly document what it is you want them to do. And everything mostly is done via email. Remember, they're halfway around the world. I mean, we're here in a certain time zone and they're over there. So when you're sleeping, they're awake, and when you're awake, they're sleeping. I never spoke to TO for years. Never. Just it was all done via email. Okay, but I like that because I was able to see his writing skills and his communication skills, and I knew he was prompt, he was dedicated, he was persistent, and he could obviously do the job of writing. Very important to me. In any case, here's what I'm getting at. Pick a function that you normally do yourself, that you do it so easily that it's now second nature. And what I want you to do is this: in a journal, like I use this thing right here, right? Sorry, here we go. A journal. Write down everything you did related to that function, and that becomes your, loosely speaking, your instructions for them to follow. So you're going to give them exact, precise instructions, even give them an example of what it is you want them to accomplish, and then give them a time frame, okay? So remember, I'll repeat that. Give them precise, complete instructions, give them an example, and then give them a time frame. Okay, and the reality is remember, maybe they came from the medical industry, maybe who knows where the industry they came from. They might not know specifically your niche, which is in real estate, but they will learn, and they'll learn fast. Okay, so in order to help them learn and be successful, you want to give them precise, clear instructions, an example, and a time frame. So you do that. Anybody that does not meet the time frame, eliminate them right away. Okay, I'm not trying to be cruel, but this is business, and your life is we're talking about here. Okay, your quality of life. So in any case, that's the first thing. Let me just take a quick test here a quick checker on questions and see if we have any questions. Hang on one second, guys, while I go through this. We got several. This is always such a good topic, guys. This never fails, because most times we're talking about marketing and how do we serve the investor, how do we close a transaction, all that stuff. Obviously vitally important. But in any case, when it comes to hiring a virtual assistant, everybody loves this subject. So Allison's asking, how do we know if we can trust them with our business, Allison? So Allison, that's a beautiful question. And so it comes back to my suggestion, which is you give them one small thing at a time. Don't give them everything. Just give them one small thing and test them and see how they perform. Then give them the next thing. Now, fast forward. So let's say, Allison, I've done this. I've tested 3 virtual assistants and narrowed it down to 2. I've tested those 2, narrowed it down to the one I'm going to hire. I don't bring them on for 40 hours a week. I still only have them a couple hours a week. I'll give them another assignment that was different than the one I've already given them to see if they're versatile, okay? Once they've accomplished 3 things successfully for me, that's the magic number, 3 successfully accomplished projects, then I'll bring them on like 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week is a lot. That's 40 hours a month. My gosh, in 40 hours, guys, think about what we can accomplish. Actually, hang on a second. Shannon, your job is to keep me honest here, right? We're not going to work that extra 40 hours doing other things. We're going to take some of that time and do what? So let me look for Shannon's response here. So Shannon, we got 40 extra hours. What should we do with some of those hours? I want to see. We have a little inside thing going here, so I want to see what. Yeah, we're going to delegate. We're going to go hiking. We're going to go hiking, Shannon. Okay. So in any case, good answer. Yes, we're going to delegate so we can go hiking. So Allison, back to your question. So start small, test them out, 3 successful jobs. Then you add then you give them more jobs, give them more responsibilities. And every step of the way, guys, boy, you've got to always give clear, precise instructions. This is probably the hardest part of this, is because it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's worth it. I mean, my gosh, you're not investing much money, you're investing time, and it's really, really going to be worth it. Okay, next question is William or Bill. Hey, Bill, will you be covering how to locate these offshore assistants and how they are vetted? Yeah, so back to what I was mentioning earlier, Bill, I like to use those websites. Let me go back to those websites real quick. Hang on one second. I just gave you the one. You can also use staff.com and Upwork. I know the guy that owns Upwork, by the way. But again, if I'm going offshore, I'm using the one from the Philippines, Bill, Onlinejobs.ph. Okay. So thank you for the question, by the way. Excellent question. Let's see. Is there a charge to utilize? From what I remember, Bill, there is. They're going to take. What's going to happen is this. This is exactly what we did. We used the website Onlinejobs.ph. We used their services for about a month. We tried people out, narrowed it down to the couple that we used, and then we basically went outside the account. So we ended the account, but yes, we had to pay for that, but not much. Basically, what's happening is you're paying the Onlinejobs.ph bill, and they're paying the virtual assistant. Well, clearly they're taking their cut. So if you're paying them $3 an hour, chances are they're giving the VA $2 an hour, and they're keeping $1. That's how they did it, from what I remember. So what we do is we find the ones we want, go outside the vendor, okay, and it's just common. They're used to it. They're used to doing this. They make their money on the initial contact, and they get it. We're going to hire this person eventually full time, which is what I did. So once I was satisfied, I knew I was going to hire Tio eventually full time, and Mary. I had two at the time. My life's much simpler now. I don't work as nearly as much as I used to, so I no longer had the need for two of them, and I decided to let Mary go, because I gave her to other people I knew, because she was really good, and kept Tio for myself. So that's what I did, and it paid him directly and basically bumped up his salary too. Bill, I got to tell you, I think I bumped up his salary from 3 to 5 an hour in like the second month. I mean, it was just so much unbelievable, the value, right? It was so worth it. Okay, so that's let's see, Adam. Hey, Adam, how you doing, buddy? Are you using Facebook marketing to capture more leads? The answer is yes. We used when I was full-time in production, Adam, we used Facebook a lot. There's a lot of great ways to use Facebook. Every time you get a listing, you should put that on Facebook, walk through a different subject, but let me just cover this very quickly since Adam asked it, guys. Whenever you get a property, even if you're checking out a property for it's already listed, you're going there for a client or whatever, ask the listing agent if they wouldn't mind if you help them sell their property by marketing it through your own channels. You can go through, do Facebook Live, just walk through your phone, do Facebook Live, go through the same thing a consumer would do, walk in the front door, go right to the kitchen, go up to the master bedroom, go down to the family room. You know, don't go too fast. You want to go through and pan slowly, but you can use Facebook to do that, and then basically send it out to all of your people, okay? Facebook Live, Facebook rewards Facebook Live more than it rewards a regular Facebook post, okay? If you're really good, what you'll do is you'll get a Zoom account, and you'll go through on Zoom, connect it to Facebook Live. So not only are you now going through the property live and posting it on Facebook Live, you've now got a Zoom recording that you can load to YouTube. So you should all have, i.e., your own YouTube channel. It's free. Just get your own YouTube channel. Okay. So I tell you what, Adam, what we'll do is this. We'll do a couple of sessions just on social media and marketing online, okay? Because I could spend days on that. In fact, Shannon, that's one of the things you and I are going to talk about, okay? So the answer is yes, and that's one easy way to do it. Let's see, Victoria, when do you know you should hire one? Good question, Victoria. So when you find yourself working in, you find yourself default mode, going back to working when you find you're having spare time, and your quality of life is degrading, you're no longer taking hikes or biking or kayaking or surfing or skiing or any of that kind of fun stuff. And all you do is you work, and people are texting you saying, or maybe you messaging you on Facebook saying, where were you? You missed a great party Saturday night. Or why weren't you at the neighborhood picnic? Because you're out showing properties or something like that. Time to hire a virtual assistant. I can tell you this, guys. Thank goodness I was a good dad early on, because my children remember all the stuff I did with them. Just this is one of those perfect examples where I'll tie this back to your own personal life. Is be a good husband, be a good wife, be a good father, be a good mother, be a good daughter, be a good son, be a good brother, be a good sister, be a good friend. Okay, don't work all the time. I know what it's like. We're all in the same business. My gosh, I'm the worst. Use me as an example of what not to do. Okay. I'll make a point now. So when I travel, I go see. Thankfully, I've got family and friends pretty much everywhere. Friday night, I had dinner with my cousin Krista in Santa Rosa, California. Okay, I'll be seeing her in July at a family reunion we're having at the Outer Banks of North Carolina. She and I are both paying for the property for our respective families. Okay, it's quite expensive, and she and her husband, they're doing pretty good, and I'm doing pretty good. So that's our way to keep our family and keep our family united. And we do this every other year. So, in any case, years ago, I probably would have missed a thing. That's how bad I was, guys. Don't do that. Hire a virtual assistant and give yourself some time to enjoy life and build a relationship with somebody. My gosh, share this beautiful planet we're on with somebody else. Here I am saying about it. I'm not doing that now. I'm actually doing everything by myself usually. So don't do what I say. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. Get into a good relationship. Go hiking. Go biking. Do fun things with people. Okay. Enjoy. Most of you are in California, because I just spent 5 months there. 4 months there. Excuse me. California is one of the greatest states on the planet. My gosh, you can go out any day and do some kind of outdoor activity. So Victoria, I hope I didn't spend too much time on that, but the answer is if you can look back, Victoria, over the last month and count on one hand or less the number of times you did something for yourself that was fun, like go to a dinner, go to a movie, go for a hike, call an old friend, call a relative. If that number is 5 or less, I'd say hire a virtual assistant. Okay. Let's see, voice dropping off. Looks like I got 100%. Hopefully you're okay now, Victoria. I apologize. Okay, Adam, do you recommend using a VA to create your marketing? The answer is no, followed by yes. So Adam, in the beginning, when it comes to marketing, guys, what I want you guys to do is learn the marketing first, right? Learn it first, master it, and then you can delegate it. I can tell you, I've had Tio do all kinds of stuff over the years. My gosh, LinkedIn, Facebook. I have him take my blogs. So what I do is I give him content. So like if I do some live presentation, I always record this. Guys, remember this: no matter what you do, whatever you do, record it. Always record it. I know I don't like looking at myself on the camera. It drives me crazy. But people want to see you and they want to do business with you because they see you and they know you and they like you and they trust you. So always record everything. I'm not saying if I go out to dinner, I'm going to record our dinner. That's not what I'm saying. But if you look at some of the posts I made last week, it took me months to catch up. I had some wonderful, beautiful experiences the last few months. I put them all on Facebook. Well, I did videos and I did still shots and I recorded everything. So record everything, because you can get that stuff transcribed and turn into a blog, okay? Or take it and turn into take the audio out, turn it into a podcast. Okay, so record everything. Just get into a habit of recording. In any case, so Adam, the answer is learn first, and then you know how to delegate. You'll know what to delegate. Great question, by the way, because marketing will take a lot of your time. Okay, this is Bill. Bill's asking. Okay, once they become independent, how do you pay them? Direct deposit, wire transfer, credit card? So Bill, we're going to cover that here in a minute. There's some great online tools to help you pay these folks. And I'll show you the one that I use personally, Okay, Adam, that would be awesome. Yeah, let's do this, guys. If one of you can remember to email me and say, hey, Gary, we want to do some sessions just on online marketing / social media, we'll dive deep on that, and that'll help you out a lot. Okay, you're welcome, guys. Thank you for the thank yous. Okay, so back to this. Let's go back to what we were talking about. Creating a hiring funnel, again, that's old school. You can do that if you want, but Bill, again, I'd say let these guys, Onlinejobs Ph, let them do the screening and filtering for you to a degree. You still got to do some testing. The testing part, guys, remember that part? Give them clear instructions, give them an example, and give them a deadline. You still have to test them. Just because the online services, you guys are great, that may be true, but maybe they were great in some other industry. So test them out first. That's your role. Okay. All right. Now, oops, hang on a second here. Let me go back here. So by the way, you always want to have some type of an onboarding process. Very easy. It's just what I just described there. Just give them one assignment at a time. I will tell you this, when you're ready to bring them on more like full-time, think of them as part of your team. And your business, every one of you has a business, whether you're investing or you're a broker or agent or both, like me. Okay, you want to have your own culture. You want to have your vision for your business and yourself personally. You want to have a mission statement for yourself and your business. Okay, and anything related to your business, at a minimum, you want to share with anybody that you bring on, even if it's a virtual assistant. Let them see what your values are. Like if you went on to My Investment Services and click on About Us, just scroll down past all the people stuff like me and Beverly and all that. Go down to our values and our mission, and you'll see what we're all about. Well, we share that with the virtual assistants, okay? We want to make them part of the team. Now, when it comes to training them, this is extremely important. You've got to really be patient because remember, they're not there with you in person. They're going to be halfway around the world on a computer typically. So you've got to, this requires you, when you grow big, like I did, then you don't have to have 7 businesses, guys. Just focus on one right now. But think about your values, your mission statement, and what's important to you, and your vision, and document it, okay? But more importantly, as you go through bringing this person on more and more, guess what it's going to require you to do? It's going to require you to document your policies and procedures, okay? Well, the cool thing about this is you can teach your virtual assistant to do the next function and tell them after they've completed it successfully that you want them to document what they did and tell them you're going to create the policy and or procedure for this particular function because you may continue to grow your business and your primary VA, the person you first hire becomes a primary, then they better have 2 or 3 other VAs, right? You hire them, they work for your one person you hired as a VA initially, and they can delegate these other roles, these other functions. Well, in order for them to do that, you want to have these job functions documented in the way of policies and procedures. That was one of the coolest things I learned. I never thought about that in the beginning. My virtual assistant actually suggested it because he did that with the medical office years before. And I said, yeah, Tio, that sounds good. I want you to do that. I had no idea what I was asking about. I'm so glad he did because as we grew, like he's the one who hired, I hired Mary. He actually trained her. I didn't train Mary. Tio did. So very important that training is something you can delegate, but you got to train the first person first, just one step at a time, just a couple hours a week, a couple hours a month, guys, that's it. And they're off and running, okay? All right, communicating with your virtual assistant. Again, we use predominantly email, okay? Every now and then you want to get on the phone with them, but just remember, a phone call to us, no big deal. Phone call to them, that's a big deal, all right? So don't ever ask them to call you because it's quite expensive and they might not even have the facilities to do it. But you can use Skype. You can use, again, online services like this, Google, GoToWebinar, Google Hangout, Zoom, anything you can do to help them communicate with you better, do it. I like things like Zoom and Live where I can see them and they can see me, okay? But at minimum, use Skype or you always call them. Now, if you're going to do that, I will tell you, definitely want to get an international plan. I hardly ever call Tio, but I call Europe, I call Canada quite a bit. My dad's, actually, he's in California right now, but in any case, he's going to Europe in a couple of weeks, and I'll call him and it doesn't cost me. I literally pay like a penny a minute. That's it, a penny a minute because of my international plan. So if you're going to be calling people internationally, get an international plan. It's really cheap and it saves you a ton of money. But for this case, it's mostly all done via email. You can also use project management tools like Basecamp. Many of you know are familiar with Basecamp because a lot of KWU training and classes use Basecamp. You can use Asana, that's another great one. You can just use a simple, basic, good old-fashioned Excel spreadsheet, okay? But the thing is this, is use a regular tool for tracking and measuring and keeping track of projects, okay? One of the most important things you can do. All right, so Bill, let's talk about how do you pay your virtual assistant, okay? Now, I'm gonna give you, actually it doesn't have the, something's missing here. The chart here actually is, they're supposed to give you the website names, Bill. All right, let me just give you the one I use. Just follow my lead. I did this years ago, and I use a tool called Xoom, X-O-O-M, X-O-O-M, okay? Xoom is a subproduct of PayPal. And here, I'll just show you. Let me go out here. Let's see. Let's go to this email. I'm going to find Xoom real quick. I'm just going to show you what it looks like so you'll see what to expect. One of the easiest online tools I've ever used. Okay. Fast, efficient. Let's go here. Xoom. Because I just paid TO, I think probably a week or two ago. So I'll show you exactly what it looks like. One of the easiest things you could ever do, as long as the computer will cooperate here. Here we go. Let's see, tax refund now is want to send extra money. Let's just go with one of these. All right, I'll just click on Xoom because it's going to take me in and ask me. Oops. So let's log in here. So that's the login. Xoom, a PayPal service, right? And here's the next screen coming up. So give it just a second, and there you go. So that's what I paid to the last time. And all I did was click continue to review. Got my response screen. Next morning, Tia wakes up, the money's in his bank, and I get a report. That's all that is, okay? So let me get out of here real quick and go back to where I was, back to the Word document. Okay, so these are some that, by the way, that cost me exactly $4.95. I do that once a month, $4.95, and I pay him an average of $1,000 a month. Last month was a little light. He had, I think he had another baby. He took some time off. But look at some of these other costs, guys. Some of these, like 3 to 5 days out, you got all these hidden costs, $6, $10, $18, $19, $21, $28, $30, and here I am paying $4.95 a month using Xoom, X-O-O-M. One of the best tools I've ever seen out there. Okay, we're getting close to the end here, guys. I just want to make sure we covered everything. The cool thing is this is, I wrote this probably, I'm going to guess 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Everything's still relevant and pertinent today. It's even more profound. The business has grown and expanded. I've had stateside virtual assistants that I paid $20 an hour for, $25 an hour. Some of them, one of them was an executive assistant. She was in Phoenix, and I met her through another mastermind member, and I highly recommended her. Man, she was an absolute rock star. Okay. The thing is they like when they're really good and they know what they're doing. They want to remain independent. Okay, a lot of times they're single parents trying to raise a child by themselves. They want to work from home, and they don't necessarily want to be in an office and get up, dress up every day, go to an office, fight traffic. This suits them perfectly. Okay, that's been my experience with virtual assistants. I've always had great success. Very rarely did I regret it. In my testing, when I was testing people, sometimes I will be disappointed with the results. I mean, I'm just floored at the like some people wouldn't even respond. I'm like, I just gave you an assignment. It was easy, 2-hour assignment. We went through, everything else ahead of time and gave them instructions and nothing, just blank. That's why I always suggest test about 3 people initially in the beginning. So let's do this, guys. We still got a few moments here. I want to see if you have any questions. Now's the time to hit me up on this. Beverly can share her experiences with you also if you like. Jody's worked with virtual assistants. I swear by them. I can tell you, as you grow your business, you're going to probably have at least an assistant somewhere along the way, and probably start to hire, buyers agents and things like that. Just know this, that payroll, paying other people to work for you is one of the most expensive parts of your business. I mean, think about it. Let's say you hire a buyer's agent. You got to split your commissions with them. That's pretty expensive, okay? By the way, real quick caveat on buyer's agents. We use buyer's agents with owner-occupied business, people buying and selling their own homes, because those buyers can look at 30 properties before they buy a house. Investors, the way we teach it, you're probably looking at an average of 6 properties for every one deal. So what we do is we pay what we have what we call showing agents. So we pay showing agents $50 a door to open up doors, and maybe they go out Saturday morning for 3 hours and open up 6 doors. That's $300. I know on average I'm going to get paid for every 6 properties we show. So now I pay out $300 for somebody who's happy because they got $300 in 3 hours, and I get to keep all the commission. The point I'm trying to make is this: there's lots of advantages to working with investors, but growing a business, regardless, you're going to have help at some point. And my strong words of wisdom and encouragement is to take these words I've written for you. I'm going to give this to Beverly so she can send it out to you. Okay, this doc is called a white paper, and just try it out. It's only a few dollars, maybe a couple hours, and it may make a believer out of you too, and perhaps save you some time that you can use maybe to generate another commission initially, but at some point give yourself a better, more peaceful life where you can enjoy some of this great big place we've got here called planet Earth. I mean, I know I'm big on that because I'm a big outdoors person, but I can tell you years ago, guys, I was not. All right, I was the typical guy in his 20s and 30s building the empire, wanted it all, and I probably missed out on a lot of things. And more importantly, I wasn't as probably good of a spouse as I could have been. I've learned my lessons, and hopefully get to apply those lessons at some point in the future. Okay, but for right now, my role is to serve you and teach you and help you. And this is probably one of the biggest things I can do, guys. I'll teach you all the marketing you want and how to service investors and all that, but it's not going to mean much at the end of your life if you look back and say, gee, I wish I had more fun. Okay, it's like Denzel Washington said, never saw a hearse pulling a U-Haul. Okay, accumulate as much fun things as you want, but for me, it's all about the experiences and relationships. So anyways, guys, starting to ramble, so let me look for questions. I think we're all caught up from before. You guys kind of went quiet on me. I apologize if I talk too much. But if you have questions, guys, I'll spend another couple of minutes here. You can ask them. Otherwise, I'm going to go grab myself a bite to eat. Okay, looks like that's it. Hope you guys, just tell me this. Did you guys like tonight's subject? Little bit, it's not the typical marketing stuff and contract stuff and looking at properties, but probably one of the most important things I can do. So if you did like it, please let me know. We generally only do this one maybe once a year, which is ironic. So we probably won't do it again until next year sometime. Thank you, Crystal, for saying that. By the way, good to see you too. So, okay, guys, let's see. That was Jeff. Oh, hey, Jeff, hang on 1 second here. Jeff is saying, looking forward to hearing Tom next week. Is that next week, Jeff, or is that the week after? Shoot. It is next week. Hey, guys, next week. Tom Donnelly, one of my mastermind members, is coming on to talk about Airbnb. You definitely want to be part of that one, okay? So make sure you're on next week, which is going to be next Wednesday the 15th, okay? Next Wednesday the 15th. Thanks, Jeff, for reminding me. Oh, my gosh. Victoria loved it. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Crystal. Thanks, Chris. Let's see, Bill, let's see, subject was well worth it, and your presentation much more better organized than some. Thanks. Well, I know what's funny is what happens, Bill, is I'll get emails like really late in the game, and it's hard for me to prepare quickly. So I like getting emails well in advance. I can prepare like having this white paper, you know. So I promise to always improve my game for Bill and everybody, okay? Let's see. Crystal knows time. Awesome. So Julie, if you can't be on next week, Julie, make sure you get the recording the next day from Beverly so you can watch it in recorded mode, okay? Thank you, Kove. You're welcome too. Good to know where to hire VA. Thanks, Allison. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Oh, Julie, thanks for all the information. You're welcome, Julie. Thank you. Guys, God bless you. God bless you and your families. I look forward to seeing you next time. I'll see you, whether it's in person or on the next webinar. If you think you want to go to Boston, please speak up. Judy is working on behalf of My Investment Services to secure the location. We got the dates, August 23rd, 24th, 25th. If you didn't make Anaheim, definitely make Boston. It may be the only other one we do this year. They're looking at doing one in November in Dallas. And I can do that. I'm fine with that. But quite frankly, Boston's pretty awesome, guys. Okay, you guys take care of yourselves. God bless you and your families, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.